Welcome back. If you don't know me, my name is Antonia and I'm a product designer and I'm teaching you how to use Figma, how to be a better product designer. I'm doing a bunch of tutorials around that. And in this video, I want to talk about how to be a better product designer in 2021. There is a certain mindset you need to adopt or hone, and there are certain skills that it would be super great for you if you would acquire this year, if you want to, of course, be better. So let's get started with number one. The controversial topic of coding. Okay, but I'm gonna say it, you need to know how to code. But wait, don't get pissed, don't, click off of this video. When I mean that you need to know how to code, I'm talking about basic understanding how your product works. So you don't have to be, this amazing, tremendous designer and coder in one person, because that's insane and not too many people can do it, although it's becoming less and less of a luxury these days, I have to say. But anyways, for example, let's imagine we are a designer that works in some startup and it's a web tool, and you might be using React or Vue as front-end framework, and this is something that you're gonna work with constantly. So why don't you spend, I don't know, a few weekends, maybe even a full month, just learning how, for example, Vue or JavaScript works, just to know some ins and outs of, the programming language, the framework itself. That way, you're becoming a better asset to your company, you're becoming more confident, and you're actually in a position to make better decisions about the product because you know how this works. If you have some tight deadline, then you might know, okay, we don't have this component yet in our design system, maybe I should not make this, let's just reuse what we have from before, You connect the dots faster. So you don't have to know how to code everything by yourself, that's not the point. But just reading some basic code, maybe a little bit more than just basic, because basic is something you can, learn in one weekend. So that's my warm recommendation for you. Just understand the language of your tool, your product you are working on. That will help you, your team, and everybody will be much, much happier. And I guarantee you, you will feel much better in your skin as a designer. Next one, pick your battles at work. Okay, so what I mean by that is when you're working as a designer, of course you design, you do some research, you probably do some analytics, check trends, you check competition, you try different tools and apps to see how things work these days and so on. But the biggest thing I learned in my career in last 5 years plus is at least 50% of your success is mindset towards soft skills and interpersonal relationships with your coworkers, with your team, with your superiors, and so on. It's sometimes very hard to navigate between, different stakeholders who are a little bit above your pay grade, and they have wishes, they have desires, they have ideas, and of course, if your CEO comes to you and says, I want this, I saw that, yesterday on this app, let's make it. It's definitely not feasible just to, change your mind like this and completely switch how app works. So you're in a position where you should say, no, we can't do that. It's a tricky situation. You don't want to, get in some awkward situation with your superior, God forbid fight or something like that. So, when it comes to these situations when somebody's asking sometimes unreasonable stuff, sometimes they're giving you too tight schedules, just breathe in, breathe out. Remember, it's just a job, okay? You love to do this, but it's still just a job. And sometimes you just say, yes, okay, let's do it this way. But then when you are super passionate and confident about this other thing, then you can, assert yourself and say, okay, my understanding is that this works better this way. I saw this pattern in this app and it seems that it's performing better and blah blah blah. Well, you will find your argument. So when you want to win a battle, so to say, just make sure that you have your arguments ready, that you're confident in what you're saying, but still, even in that mode, be open to suggestion and to iteration, because this is what we do. We iterate constantly. So in order to save your nerves, to save yourself from so much frustration, stay calm, and when you're in a difficult position, just think about pros and cons. Like, what do I get if I, confront and start, some debate? Is it necessary? Will it elevate quality of a product that much if I, just prove my point right now? Or should I just save, my zen and put this effort into something that's more meaningful? So yeah, my 2 cents about picking your battles. Tip number 3, prepare yourself for projects. Many times I see designers just get some brief. Sometimes it's not even a brief, it's just like, somebody telling their ideas, and then they jump into Figma or Sketch or Adobe XD or whatever tool, and they immediately start designing. This is not how you should do design. I'm pretty sure that many people might feel, offended by me saying this, but you need to prepare yourself, okay? You need to understand who is the audience. You probably already know, but still, for some new project, maybe audience is a little bit more granular than your grand audience you're aiming the whole time. Then research competition, how they do it. Then research applications that use similar or the same pattern you're trying to get, to see if you can maybe, get inspired. People will know what I mean. And utilize that in your designing. Open Notion or, Google Docs and start writing stuff. Don't open Figma or any other tool yet. It's way too soon. If everything is so clear that you can immediately jump into design tools, sure, go ahead. We all work how we work. But also what I learned in my experience is not to jump immediately, leave design tool at the side, open a document, write what's the mission, what's the goal, how you are measuring success when you're done with the whole project, what are problems right now, what are your ideas, how to solve it. And you get so much more ideas, so much more, this burst of energy and inspiration when you are typing stuff rather than, pulling pixels left and right, because that's much slower than just writing ideas, right? And when you have everything in one pager, then it's so much easier to create a deck to show to other teams, people, whoever you need to work with, to elaborate your ideas, and just collaboratively. Oh my God, English is so hard sometimes. Collaboratively. Got it. Work with your team, maybe, on top of your ideas, and create something even better. And then once you have your document with your comments and, you can immediately eliminate some stuff because, technicalities, technical limitations can't do. Some ideas are maybe too much, maybe something should be scoped out, maybe something should be considered in. So when you have that in textual format, it's so much easier to, polish this idea. But then when you have this idea on a paper, then you open your tool and start designing. Then you have much clearer picture what you need to do. I had a feeling in the beginning of my career that I'm not productive, basically, if I don't open my design tool and start immediately with some design. First documentation, first research, textual stuff, then designing. That comes the last in my workflow. This is like a sub-tip, let's call 3A. Many times it will happen that data is pretty much business related. You will have probably some BI tool installed in your product, and this is not very usable for product, like for UX design analytics. You probably don't have information. You probably can't make funnels and, you know, make explorations and, you know, compare segments and all this different stuff that's usable for you as a product designer. So, you know, if you have something like Google Analytics at your disposal, try to utilize it. If you don't have anything, this will have to be a new video, but start advocating for any tool that might help you retrieve data that will help you make better decisions with whatever you're working on. If you have, you know, if you need to solve certain flow, if you can pin where, for example, drop-off is the biggest, well, that's your edge. You know that you need to redesign, you need to reinvent something in this particular spot, not like make this button more beautiful or I don't know, whatever. You know where to focus your efforts, okay? I will talk about analytics in some other video. You know, I will disperse here some logos of companies that might be interesting and that you should maybe open their links and check out what they do. Well, that's it for preparing yourself for a project. Number 4, storytelling. How many of you feel uncomfortable when you need to go in front of a bunch of people and present something? I see some hands raising as I'm speaking about this. Well, you need to overcome this, personality trait, because once you start exploring your design vocabulary, your presentational skills, your storytelling in the end, you will become much more successful in, you know, relaying your message, in making designs happen. Because what I sometimes see is designers don't have how to say it not to offend anyone. Who helped me here? Okay, so basically you have a designer that makes something, and then, you know, a bunch of other people, developers, PMs, team leaders, who knows who else, dismiss all these ideas because of something. And these arguments that they raise might not be, you know, sometimes so overpowering that you should just say, okay, let's do it how you want. Because once, you know, you stand tall and present your ideas that you believe in, and of course you made your research, so you trust that you're making a good decision, then other people will trust you more. And we as designers, we need to fight for trust all the time. We still need to justify our existence, and that's not so uncommon. Even though it's 2021, it still happens. You know, some companies, they just don't get it what designers do. They just have it because everybody else has one, at least. But the role is still kind of unclear to many people. So, you know, it's not nice, but with storytelling, you will get people's trust, and then your ideas will, you know, be heard louder, and your ideas will actually end up in production. And basically that's it. You know, just work on your presentational skills. And, you know, it's not nice when somebody asks you what you're working on. Can you present this project, but you have been working for the past few months, and then you're like, so yeah, you click here, and then you bore everybody. After 10 minutes, everybody's like with their foreheads on table and nobody's interested. So, you know, make it nice, make it funny, make it light. Just think about whoever you're presenting to as, you know, human beings, and try to understand that they don't have everything you have in your head, and just try to present to them in a way that's understandable. This way you gain trust and everything I talked about. So yeah, that was storytelling and point 4. And 5th, big last one, but not least. I mean, these are in like random order anyways. Try something new, meaning learn something new. For example, 3D modeling, or, you know, how to be better at user research, or how to use analytics to drive your decisions in a better way. What else? Illustration. Get a tablet, start drawing. What else? Well, there are many things you can do as a designer creatively. You know, start a YouTube channel, start recording videos, start a podcast. I don't know, join some community, become Figma advocate or something. There are plenty of things you can do. It doesn't have to even be like design related, but what I have been experiencing and what I have been noticing with other designers is, with time, if you just do the same thing over and over again, you become stale. Like maybe you're still a good designer, but like your mind becomes not so excited with design anymore. And you know, it's a problem. Then eventually you will start to be frustrated more, you will experience burnout, you will start to hate your job, you will, you know, have wild ideas to quit your job and start making pancakes on a main square and stuff like that. So, you know, just try to, you know, keep your mind not occupied, but, you know, find some creative outlet to just make everything more fun to you, because our job can be a little bit repetitive over time. And also we are working under a lot of constraints often. Well, it depends what you work, but you know, the bigger the company, more constraints, it becomes less creative. You know, your colors become, you know, less of a color, more of a tone, like a gray tone. So do sports, do something. Just don't let this repetitive process drag you down. And you know, if you learn a new skill, you will feel better. Of course, if it's related to design, you will feel even better because you can put it in your portfolio. Who knows? Maybe in several years you know, get crazy and switch careers. You become 3D modeler or something. You never know. And this is my warm and friendly recommendation for you. Entertain yourself with learning a new skill. And that's it. And that's my 5 tips for you. I hope that was useful, at least for some of you, maybe for all, I don't know. Say something in comments, what do you think? Do you have some more useful tips? You know, I didn't want to cover this usual follow trends and blah, blah, you know, these are all, you know, just clickbaity stuff that people will, you know, scan through, but is it so necessary? I don't know, maybe not. I just want to, you know, say how it is, help you become better designer, healthy person, you know, to keep enjoying what you're working on and, you know, find new challenges and just keep it interesting at all times. But anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe. There is a button somewhere there, red. Click it now, that would be awesome. And while at it, put thumbs up. And you know, you can always leave a comment. I answer almost everything. If I miss something, then I never saw notification, but you know, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, and you know, just follow me, let's connect, let's be better designers together. And until next time, Časki!